Welcome back to Dragonbane. We are on Maryura, the small Arctic island which is Fantasy Iceland, very far away from any type of real civilization in the strictest sense of the word. And this show is rated R for soon to be crimes against humanity. I don't know. Will this group engage in crimes against humanity anytime soon? The last group I ran this with engaged in, and still does, because we're not done yet, still engages in war crimes on the regular. Good to know that's yes.
Yeah. Ours is more incidental war crime, not
Yeah.
So far, it's
MO,
more.
really.
We didn't mean to cause that genocide, but
You haven't caused a single genocide yet. I don't even know. Are you all the little goody two shoes here? Probably. Maybe they will turn out to be heroes, these ones, huh? I think they might.
Like, so many people are being like evil, playing evil. We're just gonna change things up and actually be good.
That would be the first time anyone has played this campaign. I don't know, because not all of these campaigns have been recorded and shared with the world. Anyway, I'm your storyteller, game master, Mikael Hellstrom. This is the Myth Machine channel. If you want to keep following this, follow the channel. Click subscribe, bell icon on YouTube, all the things, so that you will know when the prophecies come true. What? Prophecies? Any prophecies? Not any prophecies yet. There are no it's all gonna be fine. It's just completely mundane, no big mysteries, and so on. Who is with us this time?
I'm Roger. I'm playing Hero of the Large, Human Merchant, and Mining Engineer.
I'm Brett. I'm Wild Wolfbane, the Wolfkin Hunter.
I am Gazebo, and I am playing Halved Clearmind treachery.
Silva! There you go. You nailed it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like I should get a set introduction thing, because either we all try and talk at once or none of us try and talk.
We're gonna have to work on that.
It's gonna come. And you took an afternoon to rest up, right? So I should remove all these signs of your not being rested, shouldn't I? Okay.
And we're totally healthy now.
You are, but for some reason the tokens on your character sheet have not updated accordingly. I don't know what's up with that. Because you don't have the conditions anymore, but the tokens are showing the conditions. I'm blaming V13. Certainly probably a bug still. Okay, what happened last time? We had...
How come Kirov gets the cool avatar? What's going on here? Look at that. It's got all this purple stuff. Or is he actually being haunted or something?
No, he's definitely being haunted.
That's fine.
Yeah, he's definitely being haunted. Oh, now I see it. It's because he's supposed to be frightened, but he's not actually frightened, and I'm trying to get rid of the effect on his character sheet, and for some reason it's just not going away.
Kirov's just having breakfast, and we're all looking at him like,
Yeah, it's just a bug, and I don't know why it's there. None of you should have any of these markers, because you've all rested and gotten some energy back. After a long night and day, you stayed up all night in Arhem because you were tracking down the guilty party who had perhaps done something bad to colleagues of the Komorda Order. And you found very ominous signs, blood, some tissue, also stinky, like ammonia, and other interesting that Wild could recognize, such as perfume mixed in the whole thing. Wild and the others, with his excellent scent, followed the scent into the very heart of Arhem, where the infirmary was. And there, it was, of course, Malik Mangus. You tried to sneak in. You failed. Fighting ensued. Arrows were loosened. Malik Mangus went down. And then some huge monstrosity with enormous bat-like wings, about the size of a donkey, landed on top of Malik and flew away, even as you kept arrows after the monstrosity in question, which Halveld is pretty sure was some kind of demonic being. After that mayhem, you were searching through evidence in Malik's office, pretty sure that he is involved with something called Operation Deaths, which doesn't sound at all.
The end of death. That's it. Come on.
That has to be a good thing, right? Must be. Has to be totally a good thing. I can't see anything bad with
It's
that.
not like every attempt at immortality ends up as some version of I have no mouth and I must scream.
It's never happened with anything before, so we have no reason to fret. I'm sure the people who are in command of said attempts are completely to be trusted and will soon be awarded the Dracorian Nobel Prize for extraordinary contributions to the Empire.
We all that award is bought, not given. So that's already not going to work there.
Of course, you have to be one of Castique's faithful. What do you expect? They just give out awards around here? What is that? No, Anyway, you decided to kind of leg it because you were not sure that Malik was dead. He might be. I've rolled some death rolls in secret. But Parama was a bit worried about both. She wanted to get to her temple on top of the glacier, and she was worried that maybe the procurator would take Malik's side, and if Malik had been murdered, maybe you would now be wanted for murder. Off we went, and you spent the morning going as far as you could, close to the glacier. The afternoon you've spent sleeping. You are right at the edge of the actual glacier. And that is where we left off, in fact. So, to display our position here, we are now out here. And you should have a day and a half left to travel to get up to the Temple of Morda, provided, of course, that the weather doesn't get fouled up more than it is. But yeah, that's about the long and the short of it, really.
Let's see. What else did we know? There's a dragon over here.
No, that's a volcano, not a dragon.
Wasn't there over here somewhere, over here, or whatever?
No, it's much closer to Arham. It's like over here-ish.
The dragon's over here?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? I thought he was like up here. I was like, oh, that's the dragon.
In like half a day's of walk from Arham.
So like on the map, they're like, okay, we'll put like the fiery volcano, but the freaking dragon that's like right over here next to Arham.
Because it is a volcano. It's literally a volcano. You can see the smoke from here.
So if the dragon just farts, it like waves over. Like, you know, that's really close.
It is pretty close, yes.
Oh, I thought it was like a ways away, like all the way up here and whatever. So like, oh, we can do that later. We could have done it straight away, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how we'll do the other thing first, but man, I gotta pay attention more often. This is quite important.
They're throwing a lot of names and locations at us in that inn.
Yeah.
While we're getting orientated, where's the dwarf city?
That's. I'm not gonna say anything anymore.
That would be somewhere further down here-ish. Dwarf City.
Did we note that? Because that seems like a fairly important location.
Maybe.
Like the dragon. Can we put a here be dragons? Because that would be just very appropriate. We put over here be dragons and here be dwarves. And here be dwarves.
Let's see if I can find
There'd be
something.
ice.
The ice is pretty obvious on the map, I think, maybe?
Yeah, even I saw that. Okay.
I figure it's a bit obvious.
There's a bit of map missing. I don't see anything here.
Evening, and Parama is ready to lead you up onto the ice. You do have 2 donkeys with you. I usually do not travel with donkeys up on the ice. I don't know how well they will fare in the cold, but I will try to make them comfortable. Usually we go with cliff crawlers. That's easier in this terrain. But then you do not have a cart, so perhaps it will work.
We left in a rush. Didn't have time to.
Nope, you are definitely left in a rush. So, I guess she will take the lead, won't she?
Yeah.
And
This is her home
it's her home, and this is her job to lead you, so up on Kmorda we go.
Can
The
she fill us in a
glacier
bit
awaits.
about the temple? Like, can she give some details on the temple? Like, how many people are there?
Oh,
Like,
yes,
get to the, like,
we've-
just
How do we
temple
not offend everyone so they attack us right away?
She will be very happy to share with you all the information about everything, basically. Apparently, the temple has about half a dozen members altogether, with a couple of novices like myself. Though sometimes we send a novice to the Empire so they can experience the Empire properly, see what is beyond our own island. We have the Spring of Demona, which is excellent. It's a good place to heal and feel your soul and your body getting much stronger. We have a nice sauna, and we pray, of course, to commune with Kmorda a lot. Yes. But it's a simple place. Only a few sleeping cots, and we have a watchtower, and it's not many rooms. The temples in Tresilva are much bigger. I almost got lost in them, they were so big. But no, it's more like a cabin up on the glacier, up on the mountain.
Okay, interesting. Is there a specific reason that location was picked?
Yes, of course.
Like scrolls out and he's making notes and he's like writing and walking. Let's say,
trying to walk and write at the same time, which has issues. Maybe, I don't know. Yes, of course, he says. We chose it for the Spring of Demona. It's a sacred spring. It's where the water straight from the heart of Kmorda comes out, and it gives you clarity of mind and body.
Okay. Well, it's very interesting. Yeah, alright. I'll just be taking notes and I guess asking maybe any other questions or about the area or whatnot.
No doubt. She's telling you everything.
Kira will also ask about the demon and what they know about demons. If they just live here or if they have to be summoned or what the deal is with that.
Yeah, at that point, she's gonna be a bit freaked out, honestly, because I've never heard of demons on Maryura before. I'm very worried. Demons, where could that even come from? I don't know much about demons. They are horrid creatures from other planes, I think, but they don't belong in our world, so why are they here? Who brought them here? There is much I don't know.
What is the status of demons? I know, like, we have like dragons and demons are a thing here. Were they opposing? Like, dragons were one, and demons.
Scholar would know that back in the ancient times of the Empire, then yes, the dragon riders were fighting off the demons and so on.
Yeah.
In a battle between order and chaos.
How do the demons have worshippers, or how did that work?
Oh yeah, they had worshippers, absolutely.
What would he know about demons, or what would we know, or whatnot about any of that?
Since Halvild is a scholar, he will know things. You know what? I'm going to be cruel, because that's my job.
I'm going to tell you the wrong things. Okay.
Roll myths and legends, or spend willpower points for your intuition. But I think your myths and legends are pretty good, so I'm not really worried about that part.
Alright, I'll make the roll. Let's see. Let's get it done.
Yeah, look at you go. Technically, they're not inherently evil, at least not as far as the Animist Inquisition is concerned. So, you could think of 3 sides, almost, to discussion about metaphysics, about the place of the universe, and about dragons, demons, and the balance between order and chaos. Dragons are said to bring order in the world by destroying the things the gods want to have destroyed. So, in that sense, they are the messengers of the gods. Much like any other natural disaster. If your coast is hit by a hurricane, you're hit by an earthquake, a volcano explodes, and so on and so forth. Clearly, the gods were not in a good mood that day. When Marduk threw the rock down on the focal plains and destroyed the Wadamites, that was a natural disaster caused by a literal god, the god of storms. And dragons are much like that. Demons, they just don't belong on this plane of existence. It's like an alien creature invading this realm. They come from other planes of existence that you can only access through magic, basically. So when you bring a demon over, regardless of how benevolent you might feel yourself that you are, maybe it's a demon that's going to give great healing powers, health potions or something, the Animist Inquisition will still be against that, because it upsets the order that the gods have placed upon the multiverse and the universe. So anyone who is tracking with demons, anyone who's bringing in demons, Inquisition will definitely be on that case, cry heresy, and try to get them properly punished for breaking the order of the gods.
Yeah. So how do people
Yep.
get in touch with them or whatnot?
No, demonologists.
Demonologists?
Yeah.
Okay.
The-
Do they themselves, do they only come when contacted by other people from here? Or do they themselves try to, from where they are, manipulate?
This is a bit beyond Halveld's knowledge, that there are several different schools of magic, and they're on the way in a book format because they just got kickstarted. So if you missed the Kickstarter, go and support the Kickstarter for the Book of Magic. So we'll have it eventually in about 9 months or so. But one of the schools of magic in that source book will be demonology. I guess we'll know how they treat demonology in this edition then. But metaphysically, from Halva's perspective, you do magic to open a portal to some other dimension, and beings in that dimension crosses that portal and comes in here, where they don't belong. And that is, if you're religious enough, that is inherently bad. But it really depends on your own attitude, Halveld. Is Halveld someone who's deeply faithful to the gods? I would think so, given how he doesn't like magic. So, for Halvel and Kirov and Wild here, you'll all have to decide how much you are devoted to the creation gods. Are you following this orthodoxy that they have established in the world? Maybe you have your own favorite god. Kirov, obviously. Kastik is always someone you could worship for this purpose, right? A goddess of prophets. So your characters will have to decide for themselves how much... Everybody knows the gods are out there. It's not a question of believing in the gods or not. They're there. Look at the things they've done, right? The question is rather, how faithful do we want to be towards the gods? Halveld, being a scholar, will be familiar with some thinkers who just defy the gods and who say that this world that we're in, it's a prison that the gods have set up for us, and we don't want to be puppets anymore, so we're going to defy them and do our own thing. And there are some cults, some organizations out there who are hunted by the Inquisition who basically tout that line that, no, we're not evil, we're just liberating the world from the yoke of the gods.
Alright.
Kirov is in a sort of complex position here because on one hand, Ye Kastik, but also Kastik, god of profit. And since he saw Magnus essentially call a demon Uber, he's wondering if he could set up some sort of share company.
That is an interesting question, isn't it? Can we use this heterodoxy, this blasphemy, these heresies to further the will of the gods? There is nothing particularly in Kastik's doctrine that says, boo demons. If you can make a profit out of demons, I think Kastik will smile on you. So maybe that particular goddess is less stringent about those things. But if you talk to the priests of Marduk or the priests of Shamash, the god of truth, and a great many other priests and priestesses of various of the other gods, I think they would be much more stringent about the whole let's banish the demons thing. And certainly Perima, as you're making your way across the glacier here, and she's leading you very competently, mind you. She doesn't seem to be cold at all as she's walking. She's definitely talking about how frightful that is. She didn't see the demon. No, you had sent her back. So she didn't see it. But she is definitely going to talk about a demon is an affront to the gods. Whoever is doing this is evil in its very core. And yeah, she's very much following the orthodoxy in this. Perhaps this is what Kmot has tried to warn us about all along. and protect us against.
Yeah, possibly. But you realize who the demon was connected to.
Yes, that is even more disturbing, she says. The Shagolites have always treated us well, and we have had a mutual interest in healing sick people. We through the prayers and blessings of Korda, and they call it the science of somatrophy. I don't understand it much myself, but that's what they said. So I always thought that they were devoted to the gods and devoted to the orthodoxy, and now you tell me about the demon and Malek being evil, and I don't know what to make of all of it. I'm very confused.
Yeah. But you've been away for a while as well, so who knows what's happened in between.
Yes, you're right.
What was the thing the Shaggy Lights practiced? Was it somatography?
Somatrophy. Yes, somatrophy. That's what you said.
That sounds evil. Just gonna be out to say that. That doesn't sound-
What?
That's- Yeah, I'm gonna say it. It sounds evil.
Why
As a
would
man of science, I say we burn them. It sounds evil.
Parama is... I don't want to burn anyone. There must be some kind of mistake.
We'll see.
Maybe it has only been Malik who has gone astray. Maybe the others of the Shagolites don't know yet that he has done something so bad. I don't know. She's torn.
Was he the only one who worked at that infirmary?
No, of course not. We took turns.
But you realize we have this note where he says that he was like, that operation, was it, I don't know, Operation Evil stuff was almost complete, and I don't think that's something he did by himself. That's a sounds like an organized endeavor.
And that may be so.
Shagolites have been up to.
I fear you might be right. I'm so confused. More about the world than I do, and she's clearly looking to Kirov and Halveld here because you're all adults, right? You have more experience of the world, and she is but a young one. So she's, yeah.
How many Shaggy Lights are there on the island?
I have no idea, she says. As far as I know, they have their base at the Iron Tower, and I know that sometimes the Procurator has had reason to talk to them, so he would send a courier to them. But I don't know how to get there exactly, and I've never been myself, of course. I don't think any of the Khmorda. We talked to them only through Arhem, really. Don't know much about that place. I doubt that there could be more than what? Well, I don't know. There could, I suppose. Well, it's not a place where you can grow a lot of food, I don't think, over that far north. Maybe they hunt. Maybe they have hunters who help them to scrounge for meals. They can bring down some wild animals, perhaps. But I doubt very much that there is a whole lot to eat there. Things to grow. Vegetables. It's in a volcano, after all.
It's in a volcano. Oh, that's... Alright, let's just see if your clerics are doing well.
Yes.
Are you able to communicate via the ice when you get closer? Should the signal be stronger? Or...
Oh, not quite like that, no.
No.
I can do some other things, but not talk to them through the ice. I can speak to Khmorda through the ice when I pray, but that will take a little while, and we can't stop in the middle of the... We can, but it takes some time. Yes. I usually when I speak to Khmorda, or at least it was like that before, when I spoke to Khmorda a long time ago, before I went to Trisilva, then the Khmorda would give me visions of the world, and I would take that as a sign, and we would have to interpret that sign in different ways. I don't know. I haven't had it. I've tried to reach out to Khmorda now. When I arrived in on the island, but I heard nothing. I felt nothing. Now, I'd have to have some time to sit down and pray properly.
All right, maybe tonight. Don't. Halva rolls up his scrolls and puts away his pen, and let's see if we can make some distance.
Indeed. Yeah, you are walking across the ice, as it were. And, yeah, you'll hear the sound under your boots of the ice and snow crackling. She will certainly tell you about all the interesting features on the ice, as for your eyes, when you're looking out over the ice, it's just white and with some variations, I guess. There's a little bit more white over there and a little bit less white over there, and that's huge difference. But she will be able to read the ice very well, and she tells you about all sorts of different kinds of ice. You have to be aware and watch out for the dangerous types of ice. There is crust ice. There are some... That's when the ice has captured some bubbles of air. So when you step on it, you might break through it. And there might be a crack underneath. That could delay us quite a few hours. And of course there are cracks that are hidden under some snow. And there are large clefts that can be very wide, and then we have to just walk around, and it could be a long march, hours to walk around. And sometimes there will be some gas coming up through the ice, and it's very cold. If you fall down, you freeze to ice immediately, so you have to be careful for that.
No falling in the ice. Check.
No falling in the ice. Be that as it may, turns out that this particular shift, you encountered nothing bad. It is now midnight on Kmorda, which isn't a whole lot of night, honestly, given the time of year and how far north we are. But yeah, now Perima is very tired. She will need to roll another d6, and she was not going to recommend that you're proceeding across the ice at night. You will have moved... You will have moved, like... about this far, maybe? Because you have the donkeys and everything. Sometimes the donkeys make it harder to get further, regardless of how you travel, because they can't climb as well as you guys can, so you'll have to go some zigzag paths. She had to find a good path to get up the glacier that the donkeys could actually traverse. They're huffing and puffing and being generally annoyed by the whole situation, because, I mean, if you could speak donkey, they would probably say something about, this is not what I signed up for. It's cold up here. So you will hear them huff and puff and generally express their displeasure right here. Yeah.
Is there an aurora? Can we see the aurora?
If you're lucky. Let's see what speaking of which, what kind of weather might we have? Let's see now. We are... It's actually not terribly cold right now. Say -5 degrees Celsius or so, because it is, of course, the warm part of the year. That is... What is that in Fahrenheit for all of you who, for some reason, use that measuring system? We still don't know why. That is 25 Fahrenheit, then. It's below freezing, but just slightly.
Say any number in Fahrenheit, and, like, everyone will... Does it actually mean anything?
Apparently it does.
I have to Google it again. Fahrenheit. How does that...
Same with that metric system fad that you people have going on. It will never catch on.
It will never catch on.
Let's see.
268 Kelvin. There we go. That's what we need. Kelvin degrees.
Yeah, Kelvin is the only way to go. Exactly.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes, you can see an Aurora Borealis. Why not? We're far north enough. It's going to be fairly bright this evening. Who's going to make a camp here?
I'll try.
I think it's going to be Halvel who's the camp guy. Halvel has the best bushcraft of the group.
Yeah, but if I fail it, then
No, we
roll
pick the one with the
again.
best here. Let's go, Halveld. Roll with a boon on your roll too, because
It's obviously because the Wolfman doesn't need a tent, so
Clearly,
he's
clearly.
not actually very good at making a tent, you know. And Halvet has to keep all his paperwork dry, so he's meticulously planned out how to make them perfect as possible to get just the right humidity levels. Let's see, I have to roll a dice. Area bushcraft. Okay.
There we go.
Perfect.
You have a nice camp. You have your tents on the glacier. You're taking it easy. Who's gonna take the night watch, I wonder? It's not gonna be Parama because she's very tired.
Well,
We'll go. Very well. So this will be your second shift. You're up. And then in the afternoon you will have to roll. So you'll have to roll once for willpower to get your...
okay.
It's tricky because you need to have some people to watch out for horrible things. And yeah. But maybe there are no horrible things on the ice. Maybe everything is just fine and smooth and quiet.
If you have an elementalist with the magic trick, the heat and cold magic trick, does that mean you never have to worry about camping again because you can just have thermal comfort whenever you want it?
As long as you have willpower points, just about, yeah. It protects against cold one shift of time, basically. Speaking of which, she's gonna do just that. She's gonna make sure that you are not gonna have to worry about cold around here. Inside the tents and around the campgrounds, it's gonna be a nice and pleasant temperature as Parima stretches out her hands to the glacier. She's not looking up into the air. She's on her knees with her staff, and she is singing a song to Kmorda and asking Kmorda to take care of all of you in her icy embrace. And so it is that for this shift, the camp is going to be in a very nice and comfortable temperature. And that's a bit of a miracle, maybe? I don't know. Does Halveld think it's a miracle or scary magic?
Her magic?
Her prayer, let's call it.
I think in order for him not to be terrified all the time, this type of thing, he wouldn't be.
Very well. So as long as it follows the orthodoxy, it's fine. The miracle workings of priests who follow the gods, fine. Demonologists, terrifying. That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that's but I'll say he's uncomfortable with it though. He's not terrified or whatnot, but he would rather have there's a proper, with like quotation marks, proper way of doing these things, which is using the science and everything around us rather than this strange art.
Halveld will get it. Sooner or later, Halveld will get a very challenging question. He's probably got it already from other professors, as they're called in this world. Science isn't doing the will of the gods scientific, in a sense? Because we have to get ourselves into a different mindset in this world, where, like, in our own world, on Earth, etc., you can be a scientist who believes in gods or deities or various religions. You can also be an atheist scientist who doesn't believe in any of this stuff and just goes with the mouth. But in Tricoria and in this world, that latter part doesn't exist. So the only question is, how are we relating to the gods as we're doing our science, our scholarship?
It's also that he feels that it's a bit, I don't know, I'd say the gods, he's just more interested in this sort of, there's a way of how things work, physics, chemistry, and logic. And a lot of the bad things that happen in the world have had to do with people using magics and
Oh, absolutely.
power.
And the way the commoner would describe it, they were all heretics and so on, yeah.
Who's looked into the history books can also, not just the commoners, he has it right there.
Exactly.
Because I still haven't established where his fear comes from or whatnot, so I'd have to maybe think about that more.
Tease that out.
Might shed more light onto how he's... But I'd say, yeah, the priestly magic and whatnot, he's fine with. Especially from someone as sweet as Parama, he can hardly hiss at her. These lights, he's pretty on board with taking them out or putting them. Because yeah, that's what he doesn't like about it. So
The good news is, everybody except Wild had a good night of sleep. And Wild
Oh.
just watched the Aurora Borealis and the stars all night, so there was really nothing much to it. It's another day of marching, and Parima will say that we have marched for almost a full day, and if we can make another full day of marching, we should get to the temple by nighttime. I think we will perhaps get there today. Who knows? It depends on what Morda wants, after all. You never know if Morda will send some trials our way just to see how ready we are. So we start marching yet again across the ice, and again, like yesterday, she's going to be taking the point and walking in her not quite bare feet. She does have sandals on, but otherwise bare feet, which is weird even to you, Wild, because your paws, as much as you have fur, would not like to just constantly be in contact with the icy stuff. Some things humans have invented. Boots are welcome. But yeah, we're marching across the glacier here. It's just desolate. It's just the wind is coming across.
It's a glacier.
Snow, the
Yeah.
ice glittering. It's quite pretty in a sense, seeing the many colored glittering crystals of ice and snow in the distance. Sometimes it's even a bit difficult. You have to shield your eyes, perhaps. But so far, so good. It's by the time noon comes along, I'm gonna say that maybe you're a bit hungry and might need to eat some. So shall we go into the packaging here? We need 4 rations of food right now. And who has 4 rations of food? I can tell you that Grotto has 14 rations of food on his donkey back. Here we go. We don't have Grotto here. Now the party is complete, aren't you? Yeah. We need a donkey sound effect here going. Okay, so 4 rations of food.
Right?
What was that? Yeah, I'm just removing 4 from Grotto here.
No.
So you've all eaten properly during the day. Otherwise, you will hunger and perhaps die.
So this whole journey would take 2 days?
Yeah,
Two and
that's what
3
she
days?
says.
Okay, so that's a 2-day journey, and is that like without a guide? Would it have taken an extra day? Is that kind of the distance?
Yes, probably, because you can't see all the ice cracks and things to avoid. And you didn't notice the cracks that I've navigated around?
Alvin's what?
Yeah.
Yeah. You fall in those, you're dead. Oh, good to know. Okay. Yeah.
But you do indeed keep marching, and that's, what is it now? 12 hours of walking across the ice. That can make anyone tired. I'm assuming we're having a rest here and there, but I'm gonna have Wild roll a d6 willpower points lost because you were up from like late yesterday afternoon, so it's coming up on 24 hours for you now. 4 willpower points down.
Okay.
Yeah, Wild is a little bit like sleepy, but by this time you can see the mountain just looming ahead of you. You have managed to get yourselves all the way over to this place. You're leaving the thickest of the glacier behind you, and now you have to make a decision. Are we gonna march up to the temple tonight, or are we gonna stop this evening for camp and then go up tomorrow? Parima obviously wants to go up right away. But that would probably be forced march because you have to climb a mountain in the evening after you've done 2 shifts of walking already. So...
Okay.
I'm good with camping for the night. Getting up in the morning.
Perhaps it is better that way, she says, to have everybody rested. Leveld, you can certainly make another camp, can't you?
Indeed, I may, and in fact, I insist.
Very well. Roll with a boon.
Oh, all right. Big boon. Oh my god.
What?
Hang on, no, we can't have that. He is going to be exhausted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's going to re-roll that.
Way to walk.
Do I get it again with a boon, or is it
Oh
just
yeah,
one extra?
yeah, boon, absolutely.
Oh, okay. What are the odds, right? Oh, there we go. Oh, that was statistically.
That's more like it. All right, but you're still exhausted. You're like, ugh, that was a lot. That last little bit. That just, whew.
He's made everyone's tense because it goes all going wrong. So he's no, you do it like this. No, stand away, stand back, and everyone's okay. We'll stand back.
The Paramount's like, don't put it there. It's a crack. And yeah, that was a close one. Definitely a close one. So Wild will need to sleep during this shift to regain your rhythm of the night, the day, right? Because you've been up so long. Parama slept through the night like the rest of you all. So here you can basically choose who is going to be awake during the night shift and who's going to be awake during the evening shift. Because that's going to be different shifts.
Halvard would like to be awake during the day so he can still read. If he's not reading at night, it'll be difficult.
So you want to sleep during the night shift. Kirov, are you going to be awake during the night shift? Or are we putting Wild to be awake during the night shift? Because if he sleeps the evening shift, he can stay awake in the night shift, right?
That's true. I could do that.
Yeah, Kiro can stay up, but if he's not needed, I guess he should watch.
Parama will offer to stay awake during the evening shift. She has trouble sleeping anyway, because she's so eager to get up to the temple. Yeah. That means that everybody gets to sleep during the evening shift and the night shift if you want, except Wild, of course. That's a nice, good sleep, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is that a shift rest?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ah, I'm no longer exhausted.
Isn't it nice?
Indeed. How have the donkeys slept? Have they slept well?
Yes. Once more, Parama has been very nice and made sure that nobody freezes around here. And then she sleeps. And then I guess she sleeps. Yeah. No, she was going to be up one of the... So, yeah. One of the shifts. Alright. That's a nice, good, long sleep. Let's see if anything bad happens when Wild is awake. Nothing bad can happen, right? After all, Parama is here, so how bad could it get? She protects you all, doesn't she? Okay.
Turns out that she's the big bad guy and she's leading us into a trap. Just saying.
Wild, you've noticed that some clouds have been drifting in overnight. So you could only see about half the stars. And there's a little bit of a breeze coming in. It's not too bad. It's not so much that it actually makes anybody cold, but it's there. So, yeah, it's slightly different in weather. But still, the Glacier is not being very temperamental. Kmorda Parama will offer Kmorda a prayer of thanks for having seen them safely across the glacier this morning. She's just sitting there and touching the ice with both her hands, lying on top of the end, giving her thanks to Kmorda, and yeah. And Drotto will, of course, once again be supplying you with food.
He should be getting slowly less resentful as his load lightens.
Yes, that makes sense. He's now down to 6 field rations. But this will keep you going for the entire day. Alright. Yeah, we're gonna march up to the temple. And that is marching straight up a mountain, not straight up, because who would be that silly? You walk up along winding paths to the temple, don't you? It's a pretty long march too, so let's see what we have here in the book.
I asked Paramount, would there be any lights or lanterns or anything like signals, fires going, which are not absent? Is there anything, there's some activity you would expect that we're not seeing? Anything out of the ordinary?
Certainly we would see lights from inside. By the time we get there, it should be ready for lunch. So it's going to be a good time to arrive. I'm sure they will have plenty of food for us to eat. It's almost like we're approaching the place, isn't it? And yeah, it's going to be noon by the time you're finally approaching the temple itself. And apparently I need to fix a thing here so that the observer can see everything. There we are. Everything is quiet as you're approaching. The fact that I have a map on shouldn't worry you at all.
Yeah. In the snow, can we tell if there's any footprints that are also leading up to the temple?
It's pretty fresh snow. We'll look at it and say, can't see any. Must have been snowing recently. Traces have been covered, but it's a bit quiet, she says. If nobody else wants to take point, she definitely will want to.
Oh, Alvin will take point. That's fair. He's got his one. He's got his staff out, and he's. What's the tourney thing?
The tourney thing?
He just.
I would say now would be a good time to do a spot hidden or a awareness or.
That's why you're the wilderness scout. You do those things.
Yeah.
The stone wall to this place is not particularly high, and
Is it more like a suggestion wall? Like, it's a wall, but it's not really.
it's about halfway up to your waist. But you can feel free to roll a spot hidden check, absolutely, if you want.
Wild? It's all yours.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, he'll be looking around uneasily at the lack of other people around.
Yeah.
Maybe look for maybe footprints or something, because that's like his thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Footprints or
Well,
stuff like
there
that.
will be one thing you might notice as you're walking up here, Wild. I'm sure it's... No, I'm not sure it's no problem. Let's see here. As you're coming up here, there is the wall, but there is a statue here. Right there. The statue in question, it's a man, a person, a human, holding out the hand in a gesture of peace. But the head is gone. And someone seems to have done some kind of, I don't know, graffiti on it?
Like a word or just defaced it?
You're not close enough to be able to read anything from that distance.
Yeah. We don't hear anything, right?
Completely quiet right now.
Okay. Oh yeah, let's go up. I'll go
Don't
up there and
think
take
you
a
can go
look
there
at
without
it.
her. Anyone else?
I can't seem to move.
Now that you're coming closer, you can see the statue up close. It's definitely been defaced. It's carved with weird symbols, and it's It would smell if it wasn't so cold. The stuff that has been smeared on it, frozen. Which is a little comfort, because it's definitely excrement. Someone has smeared it with excrement, and Parama is just... Who would do such a thing? What is this?
I'll get my bow ready really quick. And say,
Oh, she's
I
angry
don't
now.
think we should make much noise.
I'm gonna have everybody roll an honest pudding check, actually. Oh no, Kirov! We have Wild succeeding, which is good. Wild, you could swear that you could see a pale face right in this window down here. But the moment you looked that way, it
facing us?
disappeared. What's that?
Okay.
The moment you looked that way, it disappeared. Behind the, like...
Which place is the temple? The place up here on the north, is that like a watchtower?
Yes, it's the watchtower. The temple building. You can see mists coming up from this part of the temple building. It doesn't look like the smoke from a fire, though. It's just mist. Parama
So I
is
think we should
very
get in as
worried.
quick as possible.
We need to get there. They might be in
What-
trouble.
Hold on.
What's been written on the statue?
Roll myths and legends.
Oh, okay. I can do that. It's like mythological graffiti.
Yes. it is.
Why did I roll 2 dice?
Don't
Oh, you
know.
Kirov.
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly. Halveld, these are clearly marks of profanity and evil. It's basically someone has graffitied all sorts of insults and so on. It's the work of orcs.
Orcs? They have those here? Okay.
There's no way to really sneak across the ice here, is there?
You could always try, but Parama is not much for sneaking. She's gonna be running.
What's up here?
Try and be hold her back. Stop. Don't.
Are you gonna tell her not to? Persuasion check.
Yeah.
She wants to run.
Oh, my persuasion is not so good, so it's probably gonna fail.
Yep, that failed. Alright, so we're all running then.
Yeah.
Not how.
Oh man, Kiro, let's see now. What is your actual movement? I'm gonna give you 24 to move in total, right? Because that is like a full dash. So that gets you over here. Parama dashing from over here would be 28, actually. She's faster than you. Are you dashing, Wild?
I'll definitely be trying to keep at least some pace with Parama.
Yeah, you can get all the way up here.
Okay.
Because you're that fast. Halveld coming from over here.
He's not running.
Okay.
Halveld is a bit suspicious. Let's see, what does he have as a range? Does he have any ranged weapons? He's gonna get out his light crossbow and just slowly load it. He's looking up here because there's a place up here, right, as well, right? Here.
There is a place up there, absolutely. And
So
you know
he's
what?
actually looking through-
It might not have been an altogether bad idea to do this because, let's see. I just need to measure a little bit here. Sorry, guys. Just keeping my notes here. Yeah, Wild? Okay, let's do this, shall we? You have no idea what awaits you, do you? But maybe it's something. Wait a minute. Wait, no, that was not what I wanted to press. Sorry. I just realized how I'm going to get the cards in proper order here. And for that, I need the module. I'd completely forgotten about that. So, there. That should do the trick. Yeah, probably. Boom. It's gonna be fine. We're all gonna be loaded in because initiative is what I'm saying. You did not anticipate that I would go for that, did you? Or maybe you did a little bit. I'm gonna go. Hey, come on, interface. Let me do the thing. Why aren't you letting me do the thing? This is weird. Okay, are you letting me do the thing now? No? What are you doing, interface? Okay, this is weird. For some reason, I can't. Come on, let's go. Okay, now I'm just read it out here. Why is it doing this? Sorry, I have a technical glitch over here.
Hey, our bad guys are automatically dead. We win.
There we go. No? Okay, I can't mark them. Can I mark your characters? Yes, I can. So, that's okay. What is happening here? Something is wrong. Sorry. Sorry, everyone. Something is wrong on my end. Clearly. I'll remove the dang modules then. If you're gonna be like that.
I'm just going to the bathroom while you get this sorted out.
That was very annoying. Terribly sorry. Technical glitch just as we were getting somewhere. Ugh.
It appears you've tried to make the game too much fun.
Appears. Perhaps
Yeah.
so. Now I get to do a thing. Good. Okay. Good. Thank you. Yeah. So that was the problem. Alright. Now you can click on the thing.
What thing?
Go to the crossed swords and click on your shaded D20.
Ah. The roll initiative. Okay.
Yes. It got messed up when I installed the little thing. Halveld, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Alright, let's get some initiative. Wild has a 7. Halveld has a 1.
I'm ready to roll.
Alright, I'm just gonna roll here for everyone else because I can. Don't worry about the number of rolls I made or anything like that.
I assume 2 of those are for the donkey.
Yes, absolutely. The donkeys
Yeah.
will take a great deal of part.
You got it, Wild. I'll just hang back here. I'll cover it.
The first thing that happens is that the door opens and out comes a skeleton, a walking dead. And it will walk straight up to Wild, but not actually be able to attack you, because it was just out of reach doing so. So, good for you, Wild! Kirov is next up. Is Kirov back?
I'm
That
back
sounds
now.
like Kirov is back.
What's happening?
A skeleton came out from the house. It is armed with a short sword. And it is intending to do bad things, probably. And
Okay,
there
so
are
do we know
more
anything?
things inside.
We know this sort of thing well enough to know vulnerabilities. There's certain types of weapons that won't work well against them.
If you want to take your action to do a Myths and Legends roll, you're free to do. I'd put a... Yeah, no, Myths and Legends roll, absolutely.
Maybe the best way to do this is just to find out. Right, and so I'll get in front of Perima and I'll put an arrow into this.
Very well. Arrow flies from your bow, and it cannot evade because it has been walking too much. So that's a hit. How much damage? 15
Nice.
points. Okay, that's going to be 8 points of damage because it's in fact a skeleton. It's going to be harder to hit something tender with something like a stick with some metal on it. And it also has some leather on it, so that's going to be 6 points of damage in total, which is not quite enough to bring it down. But yeah, there's an arrow sitting right in the middle of it, and you can hear the rattle of several ribs that just fall down on the ground through its hips as it's walking relentlessly towards Wild. There is a living dead emerging! It is also going up towards Wild, but it cannot attack this turn because it was too far to walk. This one is a corpse that is still walking.
We should have done the forced march. We might have got here before him.
And another
Only this
that
in the middle
also
of the
cannot
night.
attack Wild. Wild, you're up.
Popular.
Yeah. I'm gonna move back one space so I'm in.
Very well.
Can't get completely surrounded. And then I will shoot the skeleton right in front of me.
Very well. It took a lot of punishment from Kiro's arrows, so that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah. Do I target it? How? I forgot how.
You just click on your, so on your character sheet, you click on
Okay.
the main
on
tab.
Main. Okay. Okay.
That looks like a hit. Roll damage. With a longbow too. 12 points. That is a lot of points. Oh, that is my turn to think about how much points that does. Again, you have a pointy thing against the skeleton, so it's not going to be as damaging because there's no flesh on this thing. But it's still going to be enough to bring it down. It falls, it just crumbles to the ground as you shoot it in the face, and the head splits in two like a cloud of bone dust, and it falls over. And that's your action, unless you want to move anything more.
No, I'm good right here. Yeah, I guard Pirima.
Very well.
Oh, but could I switch to my sword now?
I believe that's a free action. Let me have a check again.
Okay.
Combat. So, free actions. Draw a weapon. Drop an item. Yeah. Some actions, reactions. Minor actions such as drawing a weapon kept at hand, dropping to the ground, or shouting a few words are all free actions. They do not count, but you can only perform one of each type per round, and only on your own turn. So, for example, you can drop down or get up on your turn, but not both. You can drop your weapon on your turn, like now. You can drop your bow, And then on the next turn, you can draw your sword as a free action. But that means that you don't actually have any weapon at hand when others are acting until it's your turn again. So, how do you want to do that? Of course, if you don't drop your bow now, I guess you could draw your long sword. If you look at your main tab there, you have the grips, right? So you could let go of the... okay, so you can only have... Yeah, okay, so basically you have to drop your longbow because it takes both your hands. So right now you are without any weapons at all. Alright, Perima. She is going to scream, Kmorta, help us! And she will do all the power into this because this is terrifying. That will succeed. Out of the ice will emerge a creature. Ice itself rises from the snow, ready to do battle for Kmorda. That is her action, and I guess she's gonna take a step or two back. Because she's not the person to fight these things in close combat, necessarily. Oh my! Another one is coming out, and it's moving all the way up to wild, but it took all its movement to walk up to wild, so it couldn't do anything else this turn. Halvel, you're up. Last in the turn. What do you want to do?
Fine. He's fine with that. Let's see. Good golly. Yeah, he's gonna reach into his old myths and legends there and see... Hang on, what's this? He sees someone here. What is this, an undead? Or what's going on?
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. The zombies and skeletons.
It's a zombie, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna reach into his myths and legends and see if he can figure anything useful out about them.
What does that mean exactly?
Tell me their secrets now.
Okay, okay.
I don't know. What is there anything? Is there any weaknesses or I don't know stuff about them? Is there anything undead?
So for the zombies, swords are more effective than spears and arrows, but they do have a vulnerable neck. Also, they might be contagious.
Okay, so arrows.
This, by the way, is the Glacier that has joined you in battle.
Okay.
It's, yeah. A powerful Glacier.
Okay, so they're weak at the neck, and that's something we can... Okay. He'll shout this out. Use cutting weapons, go for the necks. He'll move around. How much could I still move?
When you've done... You can move 14. 14.
Okay, so he's going to move... He's going to move 4... Oh, I'm curious about who's over here. What's going on here? He's going to move... What's this? That's not an undead.
That's a horrible thing. You can't even make out what it is in there. It's just large. It has... It's like the head is... It has a gigantic fly's head with these insect-like eyes. And there are antlers on top of it. And there's a mess of legs in there that you can't really make heads and tails out of. It's hard to... It's a bit dark in there.
Oh my god, the last thing you guys hear on Halved's turn is, oh, spilled ink.
which is the worst thing he could ever possibly say.
You've only heard it like 2 or 3 times.
It was very bad. Yeah. There we go. So Kirov is now first.
Okay, I'm just waiting
Have
for.
No? Okay. So new turn and no, that's not how we wanted to do it. There we go. Reset and roll. Here we go. Okay. So yeah, that horrifying mess is going to move forwards. Like that. And it's gonna make its way out the window, and it's not gonna be easy for it to get out the window. It is actually a large creature, so it has to squeeze itself out through the window. And by the time it's out, I think we can conclude that the smell of the ammonia coming like a cloud in front of it.
New target.
I guess you have a new target, yeah. But it doesn't have any actions left right now. Parima is going to do what? I think we'll have to create a whirlwind here. I think that's basically her one shot. The distance is only 4, so she needs to get closer. She bravely runs up towards this horrible creature, about as far as she can get, which is... Okay, we're not going to get that close. We're going to get that close, not closer than that. And then she is casting her spell. Komoda! Bring the winds! And power level 3, definitely. Whoosh! And it succeeds! And a whirlwind starts blowing right around here. And that's going to be 3d4. And all untethered objects and creatures up to human size in the area of effect, which is going to be like here, 4 meters. Okay, 4. There, that's as far away as she can do it. Each of this range by 4 meters. Okay, there we go. Yeah, suffers bludgeoning damage and land prone. This thing is too big to be affected by that, so it's not going to be hurled away. But there's going to be some damage at least. I don't know. The wind is... The snow is just blowing around this creature really hard. And who knows how much it cares about it. Okay. A skeleton will attack the glacial standing right in front of it. Because of course it will. With a short sword. It slashes. And it hits. And it rolls damage on the glacial. And it's not going to be enough to bring the glacial down. You will hear how the sword scrapes against the ice that makes up the body of this creature. The elemental itself. Okay. Now I have to check. The exact damage of this thing. Because it's going to do damage. That's what we want, isn't it? Or maybe you don't want it to do damage. I don't know. Maybe it's just gonna sit there for a while and watch all of you fight and...
The damage would be nice.
Damage would be nice? Okay, fair enough. Let me go into the old book here. Where was it? Elementarians. There we go. Okay. It's gonna hug the thing.
Okay.
Yeah. This ice creature just tries to hug this skeleton and literally just crush it to death with the power of its ice embrace, as it were. And that works pretty well, doesn't it? The skeleton will suffer damage. We'll remove 2 points for its armor, but it's still getting absolutely crushed. Because this is not piercing damage. So the glacier just stands forwards, crushes this skeleton between its... I'm not going to say muscular arms, I'm going to say bulky arms. And the skeleton just absolutely collapses underneath. What do you want to do?
Run away.
Smart move.
God. Alright. I'd say for this creature, he's going to do another Myths and Legends to see if there's any weaknesses it has.
2 Banes on that roll, please.
2 Banes.
Could just shoot it and identify it when it's dead, but
No, we must find out. No, 2 Banes is that is indeed too much. That's I read in a nursery rhyme once. There must be some useful information, something about it. No. He is going to. Can I shoot it, move forward, and drop the bow, and then pick up my staff just to prepare?
No, you can shoot it, move forward, and drop the bow.
Okay. What does the creature? Is it just popped up? Who's this little ugly person? Is this the man we tried to kill?
You have no idea. One is a very green face, like a person with an actually literally green face. Not a goblin, mind you. Human-sized. Red robes, not purple the way Malik had. And you remember that you couldn't see Malik's face because he had a face mask on, so could be in, could be someone else. But the bat-like wings of this thing is definitely very similar to the thing you saw in the dark, so maybe?
Alpha is going. Does this figure seem? Is it directing or looking at this creature somehow?
Are you gonna take a turn to check things out? Okay, I'm gonna give you a Bane because of all the things that are between you and that guy. You're shooting past a pony-sized monster with huge bat-like wings and through a window into... So, yeah. Bane on that.
Okay, that may be a little bit too... I'll just shoot the monster in front. Okay, alright.
Well.
Just shoot hang on. Where's my... Alright. Weapons, light crossbow...
Just main tab, click crossbow, shoot. Main tab. Bottom of your character sheet. Click light crossbow. Main tab. Weapons.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Oh, but you haven't switched to it, have you? So, there we go. Now you can shoot it. You need to hold the light crossbow too, right?
Oh, I thought I had it equipped.
Now it's equipped. On your main tab, under your abilities and intuition and stuff like that, you have weapons, and there it says light crossbow, and you just click.
Oh, alright.
There you go.
I will get exhausted.
Very well.
Oh, good. Okay.
The bolt clatters against the wall behind the horrid monster. Is that fair, you ask? Obviously not. You're up. There's a zombie right in front of you, and you don't have any weapons at the moment, but you can draw one.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should just pick up the bow and then shoot at the flying thing.
You're not worried about the zombie then?
Yeah, okay, I'll draw my sword and I'll attack the zombie.
Here we go.
I suppose that's more.
It's your character. You can shoot the thing if you want to. There we go. Bam! Okay, that's a hit on the zombie. Roll damage. It doesn't have any weapons to hit you with, necessarily. Oh, wait. Did you attack the zombie?
Yeah.
Oh, because you have marked the skeleton instead still. 16 points of damage is a lot of damage. Yeah. Okay, then, I guess. You just cleave it in two, and it's gonna fall over. The body is literally chopped in two, and is not moving anymore. I guess you killed it a second time. Did you want to move as well?
No, because
There's
when
one
it's dropping
zombie
weapon,
left
like-
here.
You're going through the door of the building if you have enough move, and then we can be working towards cutting this guy off. If we
That's
don't
true.
want to...
How much could I move after attacking?
You can move 16. You're fast. You're a wolfkin.
Okay. I'll just go right in the door. So I won't.
It's dark in there. Who knows what hides behind the corners? Evil.
Can I
is what
open this
hides.
door, or is that too many?
I'll allow it. Evil me. Kirov. You can see horrid creature. You can see other things around here.
Yeah,
There's a zombie left.
The Glacier creature, I think, can handle the remaining zombie. I want to put a shot into this monster to see what happens.
Very well. Shoot it with your bow. With your absolutely not elven bow. Oh my! Are we doing double weapon damage?
Okay.
Or armor has no effect? You have to decide.
I don't know what's
I say
just
double
happened.
weapon.
It didn't show me my roll.
Roll the
Oh,
one.
you got a dragon.
So you have a
Yeah.
dragon. You can choose double weapon damage or armor has no effect. This creature does have carapace. Like, it's like insect-like carapace. Or maybe crab, who knows. Anthropod.
I think double damage would be better because of how destructive a longbow is.
Well, do you want to... Oh, I guess I have to click the roll damage for you because...
Yes, I can't see it.
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, it rolled 10 points of damage for you. In total. And...
That's not great for double.
It's not great for a double, I will admit, because I rolled terribly. That was a 4 and a 2 on a 2d12s. That's definitely lower than average. You should have 12 plus 2. Yeah, it should be a lot more. But, unfortunately, it does go through the armor. Ka-chunk! You can hear the crack in the carapace as your arrow strikes home.
And with my remaining movement, can I get inside the door as well?
You can, if you move this way, like down here and then in. As long as you don't move within a square of this remaining zombie.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, there you go.
Do I have... Can I open the door?
Yes, you can, because you actually have a free action. And look, barrels and storage facility has revealed itself to you.
Was it inspiring?
And out comes this man and jumps onto the back of the creature. Okay. Like that. There we go. That is all he does. And that's going to be a new turn. Reset the initiative. Re-roll initiative. And... oh, that's a problem. Is this skeleton warrior destroyed? Yes, it is. Why do I still have it there? Weird. Paramise first. How much was the duration on that whirlwind she created again? It's instant. Okay, so she would need to do it again. Do we want her to do it again?
Yeah, because now there's a
Yeah, it's a
human-sized
guy off.
person on
Yeah.
top of the monster.
That's fair. Okay, let's do it again. The best she can do is power level 2 at this stage. Unfortunately.
The creature's still on the ground, or is it actually flying?
That is still on the ground, yeah.
Okay.
Kmorda is heeding her words, and the whirlwind is hitting them again. And whoosh, just a blast of snow and ice. And that's going to be 2d4 damage to both of them. So the creature will take nothing because armor. And the man will take some, and he's also tossed away because he's humanoid sized. So right as he climbs up there, and he's going to be hurled 2d4 meters away. So 4 meters away then. Yeah, that's going to hurl him like over there, and lands prone. And that is her action. She's gonna move like over here. Where's Wild? Wild is inside. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think she's gonna move behind the glacial. That seems like a good idea. So that's where she's gonna be. Alright. The glacial, which is of course big and powerful, is going to move. It can move... yeah, far enough. There. Boonch, crunch, crunch. And then it's going to try to hug this creature. Again. It's a success! 3d4 damage as it hugs the horrid creature from the pits. A little bit, but not enough to actually kill it. Hull, you're up.
Alright. Crossbow shot, take 2.
2.
I'm sure I know how these things work. I've read about it in a book.
That's a hit!
Hey! Now I do damage or something like that.
It does have the carapace armor. You do a little bit of damage. The bolt kind of glances off that carapace armor, and it now looks towards you.
Oh.
Actually, it doesn't. It's going to look towards the glacial because the glacial is much closer. Okay. Normally, monstrous attack using a monster attack table, and I had one, but I think because it's custom made by me because the official module hasn't been released, it was removed, so I have to rebuild one. But I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, I'm just going to pick an attack for it, because I can. So it is going to kill everyone instantly with a huge roar, and no, that's not what it does.
Except for Kirov and Wild, because we're inside.
I think it's just gonna bite the glacial. Its claws. Oh my god, I rolled terrible. It misses horribly. You know what? Monster attacks in the new edition actually always works. So I'm gonna just roll a d8 for the damage. That's what I'm gonna do. And it attacks twice too. 2d8 on the glacial. 11 points of damage as this monster unleashes its crunchy jaws on it. You can see snow and ice and pieces just falling everywhere as this creature just takes a large chunk, basically crunching, destroying half of the glacial elemental in one fell swoop. But the rest of it is still walking. Kirov, you're up.
Back out the door. And I'll put another arrow into the monster.
Very well. A hit.
And again, I can't see anything.
Alright, I'll roll your damage then. There are bugs. Clearly. That's 7 points of damage. Which is enough for it to... You hit it... Where do you hit it exactly to kill it?
I think like one of the armpits of one of its wings.
It shudders. And this thing does not make any expressions. It doesn't have facial expressions of pain or fear. But the jaws kind of wobble a bit, filled with ice and snow as they are. And then it just slumps over and spews forth some stinking ammonia bile onto the ground and doesn't move again. And even as it does that, you can see that the fella with the red cloak just screams and falls over. Ah! He's lying on the ground.
I'll just use my remaining movement just to get between.
The zombie is in the way, can't move past an enemy.
So I guess I'm still stood next to it, so maybe it'll distract to me anyway.
You know what? It will. And it counts as a monster, so here we go. It's a clawing attack. It goes right for your face and does a D10 slashing damage. Oh my! 10 points of slashing damage on Kirov. You have some leather, but that is not going to be enough to save you right now. Kirov goes down right away. One hit, one immediate go down. You are unconscious. The last thing... So you're shooting that arrow at this thing, and then you just turn around and you see the long claws, the nails that are like claws. They just right over your face, and you basically spin around, and down you go, unconscious, and obviously prone. That's not so good for you. Wild, what do you want to do?
I'll run back out and I'll attack the zombie.
Very well. Yeah, next turn Kirov is going to have to roll some death saves.
Ooh.
That failed! Dare you show yourself on the battle?
Maybe I'll just be disheartened that I saw my friend go down and I'll try again.
That is a hit.
Right.
Ah! Disheartened! I'm gonna do this! And 7 points of damage is not enough to bring it down, I'm afraid. Your sword bites deep into the undead flesh, and as it does, you can feel the stench of putrefaction coming from inside it into your tender wolf nose. Sad.
Somebody could come and pour my healing potion down my throat so I don't die. That would be helpful.
Kirov, you have the great pleasure of being first in this turn, which is weird because you're down, but there are things you can do here. You have the death roll and everything that you're confronting right now, and what you could do here, you can try to rally yourself, roll against your willpower with a bane to avoid dying, and then you will actually, that's called a rally, and that's gonna... Oh no, then you get up. You still have 0 hit points, but yeah, each turn. So that would allow you to remain active even though you are at 0 hit points. So a rally check would allow you to not be unconscious at least.
Do that.
It's a willpower roll with a bane. Well, that's a
Still can't
fail.
see. I'm just going to refresh Foundry, see if that fixes it.
Okay. How's it going over there?
It's just coming back up. Oh, it's at least showing me that now.
Okay. So click the push then. If you want to click the push. You don't have to, obviously.
If he fails, does he just stay?
Oh no. Okay, you're disheartened too. You have to roll a constitution check. That's a success. Nice. So for now, we have a succeeded death roll. You need 2 more to be safe. Kiro is lying.
If somebody does pour the healing potion down my throat, will that fix it?
Yes. I don't know that Parma is aware that you have a healing potion, but she is going to take a round rest in a single round to recover some willpower points. And she will do this because that's enough for a treat wound spell. Because after that, she will be able to cast a healing spell on you. But you don't know that, do you? So that's her turn. Wild, you're disheartened. There's a zombie right next to you. Parma's coming over. Oh no, Kirov, she's screaming. I'll take care of him.
Yeah.
Come out of this cold. We'll preserve him. And she's
Let
sitting
me
down
attack
and just
the-
breathing for a while. Oh my! It's time for you to roll on the
That's
fun
not good.
fumble table. Yeah, so go into rollable tables, and it's gonna be to do combat and damage. That's where we want to be. No, not create. Configure ownership. Owner, everyone. Roll for your mishap melee. Yeah. You're swinging that sword, and as you're doing it, you're just zip, and suddenly the sword is in the snow in front of you, and you're like, "What? Oh no!" How long does a glacial even last? I want to know. Because it's been out there. This is like the 3rd turn, so it has to be possible to have it there still, I guess. I should check the other elementals. Oh, stretch. Okay, so that's fine. It lasts for 15 minutes. So the glacial, I mean, it's close to Paramount. Its job is to protect Parma specifically, so it's gonna march over here to give the last zombie a nice friendly hug. Or not. That is 2 mishaps, melee mishaps in a row. Okay, it doesn't have a weapon to toss, so nothing particular happens. It just stands in front of Parma to protect her. The living dead here, the zombie, can choose to attack the glacial or wild, because both of them are standing up. If I roll a 1, it attacks the glacial. If I roll a 2, it attacks wild. It's gonna be the glacial. Okay then. It bites the icy thing. Yep, that's what we do with a glacial. D8 damage. A glacial cannot become scared, obviously. The glacial is so much smaller than when it started. It's like walking towards this zombie thing, and bit by bit, ice and snow and icicles and chunks are falling off of it, and it's like basically the size of a halfling now. So it's not doing terribly well. Okay, we have been stunned for a while. Standing up. This is not so good. Okay. Moves up here, touches Parama, and fails. Yeah, you can see this man. He's running up towards her. He is trying to put his hand on her shoulder, but he can't. He's just as he's doing that, she is bowing down to pray to Kmorda, and he just misses and hits empty air, and nothing happens, which is sad. He tried. Hal, you're up.
Halva is going to... He knows Kirov has a healing potion. He's going to run over here on top of this undead. That's
Yeah.
dead. And he is going to give Kirov one of his own healing potions. I mean, he has one as well, so...
Healing potion. You have your own, do you?
Yeah, sorry, I think that would be easier than rummaging around Kirov's body for his
That makes...
his
Alright,
potion.
Kirov, roll 2d6 hit points as this amazing draught is poured into your throat.
Nice.
Alright, Kirov is just completely
Actually,
healed.
It contains spinach, I think. So,
Yeah,
well,
you're just completely healed and comes out of your unconsciousness. So that is the end of that turn. This time, Wild will be going first. What are you gonna do, Wild?
I'm gonna pick up my crossbow. It's slightly better, so I might do that, and I might move down one to attack the guy behind Parama.
All right. What do you mean crossbow? You have a longbow, not a crossbow.
A longbow, yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant.
Just
Or
in
actually,
his
obscured. I might try
body.
and move. Does that matter? Is there like a point blank or a bane
Yeah,
for being
it's
too
generally.
close
I
with the
think
bow?
you get a bane if you're too close, so might not want to do that.
If I go, like,
No, you
how
can't
far
go
can I
past him.
move?
You can go.
I can't go past.
You cannot go past an enemy,
Okay.
but you can move up to an enemy or away from an enemy. So you have 8 squares basically. Is how far you can go.
Okay. Alright, so it doesn't. Yeah, I'll just attack him through the thing then. Where did they go?
That's a miss.
I'll get angry and try again.
Actually, you're attacking the living dead. You're not obscured by tokens. Are you? I don't think
I
so.
was attacking the.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're trying to not hit Parama. It just overcompensate a little bit too much, and the arrow will disappear into the distance. All right. So Halveld, you're up again. You've shoved the potion down Kirov's throat, and there is this guy who is standing right in front of you, and just... He does look a bit menacing, doesn't he?
and let's see. Oh, yeah, Kirov's back up. Could it be said that when he was getting the potion that he put away his crossbow?
For sure.
Got Kirov? Okay. So he gets out his quarterstaff,
Yeah.
and he... Or just staff. Quarterstaff. And he attacks this Mr.
Yeah,
Goblin
his
here,
it's not a goblin. It's a human with green skin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, maybe it's a
Green
goblin that is twice as large. Maybe it's a huge goblin.
Now that he's
monster
that
goblin.
close, is it really just a human with green skin?
Like a
Is it-
human with green skin. He's also like looking furious at you with his like. You can feel a stench coming from him. Like he smells a little bit like putrefaction.
All right, he's gonna be a bit freaked out by that, but he's just going to just give him a good old whack with, or try to, with his quarter. Let's give it a go.
That's a hit. I guess I'm gonna have to decide if he's gonna dodge that, or do I want him to do something else? I guess he'll just take the damage. No, that's not a good idea. He has to evade. Oh no. He's not very fast on the whole evading thing.
Well, then you might as well not try.
Yeah, he tries to avoid getting hit by that quarterstaff, but you crack him really good in... Where do you crack him?
Across the shoulder, like just straight down, and it hits him like right in his collarbone.
Yeah, he goes down.
Cracks down.
Which means that he doesn't get to do anything. And the Glacier will try to destroy the zombie. Oh my, it succeeds quite well. I think that is all she wrote. A very loud crunch is heard as the Glacier crushes the final zombie to oblivion, and it falls apart into its many constituent and very stinky pieces. And so the silence ensues on the mountain again. And I guess nobody actually is hurt because, like, the only one who got hurt was Kirov, and he drank the healing potion. Now he's fine again. Which is...
I think as quick as possible we search the place looking for survivors.
You just gonna stare on this guy? He's a Shagolite. That red robe. What was he doing here? And with that thing, and she points over to the clearly demonic being lying there in the snow. What has happened here? It's just shock on her face.
The Dragonbane are demon worshippers, and they're coming out of their hiding.
Yeah, I'll come in and search the place.
Are the zombies completely unrecognizable? Could it be that these zombies are the...
They do have the same type of red tattered tunic that Parama is wearing.
He's not gonna say anything right now, because if she doesn't notice, he'll deal with that later. He's gonna search the body... Oh, no.
Wild, you are inside. And you are seeing a room. So let me describe this room before it eats you. Yeah. Who knows if it will eat you or not. Oh, there. Alright. This beautiful room is built right up against the cliff behind you. Like, behind the house. So, you can basically see the cliff wall is the further wall. It has white stone tiles. The walls are also painted white. They're behind very thin, see-through wall hangings that basically shift in the colors of the rainbow. They're waving almost, oh, the northern lights or something. From the cliff wall, you can see clear water pouring out and being collected into a pool that's been excavated into the floor. The water seems to be disappearing just as quickly as it enters. There must be some kind of hole in the bottom. There are a couple of stone benches turned towards the spring itself, and a beautifully crafted wooden cabinet, or wooden cupboard, is on one of your sides.
That's my right.
That's going to be your right. Yeah, my left. Yeah, that's where you keep your mouse thing.
Yeah.
Yes. And what do you want to do with this information? How wild?
I don't really know what I'm looking at, so I'll probably turn to Parama and go, "Ooh, what does all this mean?"
This is the Chapel of Demona. Is there anyone there? Hello, Girinda! Where are you? She's gonna run after towards the kitchen. And then
I'll
you will
open up
hear
the
her
cupboard.
scream. Yeah, you can't get through that way.
I'll run after her.
She will scream, "No!"
Kirov seems to have become trapped under the creature.
Yep, he's never gonna escape.
It fell on you.
It fell on you, and you're now forever cursed to... There we go. Kirov, as you were walking around the corner here, you could see how these are the windows into the kitchen, and they've been open for so long that a bunch of snow has basically blown into the kitchen and just piled up in there.
Probably wasn't our fault. If we'd got here a day earlier, it probably wouldn't have made any difference.
What do you want to do while Kirov is looking through the kitchen window?
Halbert's going to inspect the body of this dead green man.
All right. The dead green man. He has... Yeah, okay, he's strange. Aside from the fact that he has green skin, which is strange in itself. What else? His skin. Let's see. His skin is also coarser than normal. It's almost like a leathery skin, really.
Does he look like the guy we fought? Does this guy have injuries in the same place as we injured the guy in town?
No, he does not. So there's no traces of your arrows in his back or anything like that. Meanwhile, as you are exploring that fellow, inside, Wild has entered the kitchen. And this is where Parma has been screaming, of course. Because the kitchen is a horrible place to be in. At least, it looks that way right now. To Wild. I just need to flip through my pages again. It's a square room, has a big wooden table, of course, in the middle. And there is, on this table, there is a body lying stretched out. There's a lot of red paint on top of it. Someone has painted the body in some kind of red patterns. It's cold. There is almost a fog in here, like sulfury type of fog that makes your eyes water. And there is a sensor right next to the body's head. That's where the smoke's coming from. And there's some chairs turned over, and the remains of a meal is just thrown to the floor. And yeah, Parma will cry and hug the body, who she apparently was a priest of Kmorda. And she is hugging the body, and she's crying very deeply. Wild, what do you want to do?
I'll try and get her to gently grab her and try and put us like, let's not stay in here.
We need to take care of the body. He needs a proper funeral.
We will, just not right now.
Kirov, you're entering a completely different room, aren't you? You should not have gone in there, or should you? It's a fairly warm room, this one, Kirov. Definitely the warmest room you've been in so far. Very dry. There's a nice, soothing smell of incense. The floor has several carpets. There's 2 wooden benches you can sit on. There's some kind of, it looks like climbing vines from the floor to the ceiling on the far wall, except it's not actually a plant, it's copper wiring. And the other walls have paintings of alpine landscapes. And on the floor is an enormous mammoth horn. You know what? A mammoth tusk? that is turned into a horn. You can tell that it has been converted into a musical instrument. There's like a brass mouthpiece, and some kind of a funnel has been put on the root of the tusk. So, yeah. It's 30 meters long. Made of bronze, actually, not brass.
So is copper wire like something that is normal in this world, or is this a really odd thing?
It's pretty warm, that copper wire. It's like copper piping, really, not wire.
Yeah, so into this room first, and then I will try and see if I can find out how to get into the room that the steam is coming from.
When you get into that room, you are now in sleeping quarters. And it's just as cold as outside. There is a fireplace, but it's completely extinguished. 4 beds. It's box beds that you can put things into as storage. And there are straw mattresses and nice woolen blankets. And it smells stale. One of the beds have been turned up, and the contents have been turned out. And then there is a young dead woman lying in another bed. And there's blood everywhere.
Can we tell how long ago it looks like this happened?
Oh, I would say a healing check could be a good idea. To check that. Meanwhile, Hull, you're still outside there?
I'd imagine there's nothing on this man's person, documents or... Okay. He will...
He has a quarterstaff, of course, but... No, he doesn't even have that.
Okay. Then he will inspect the body of this creature.
I'm sure, yeah. It's a freak of nature. It's like it's cobbled together by several different types of animals. The head looks much like a fly. It's about the size of a baseball. But it has like a crab mouth. Like the jaws are hinges. And there's 2 flaps on the underside of the mouth that can open up. And I guess you've seen it crush its prey. Because there's like thousands of little teeth in there. It has a couple of antlers sticking up on the head. Bat wings on the back. The chest is more like a crab because it does have 6 crab legs attached to its torso. Then the hind, like when it comes to the end of the torso, actually has more like chicken feet almost, like bird feet or something, raptor feet perhaps. Fairly strong claws on them, and then behind there's a long tail. Yeah. Wild. Parma. And what do you want to do with Parma? Parma is just in shock at the moment. She's just... No. What has happened? Everything is... Like, why did this happen to my friends? She's gonna... Whilst we need to take care of the bodies, please get in there.
I'd help her carry the body outside or wherever she wants to take it.
Before she's gonna run past you and just run past Kirov, you can see her run past you as you're going into that other room. Is Kirinda here?
I just follow her then, I guess.
Very well.
Or actually,
no! And she's screaming again. You can hear deeply heartfelt crying coming from Parma. And then you can hear a voice that is not Parma's.
yeah, I just definitely follow her then. Where did she go?
She went in here, hovering above her. You can see a shape. It's the shape of a young woman.
Like a ghost hovering kind of.
Yeah, it's a
Like
young
an
woman that
actual
you can
physical
see
body.
right through. And even as Parma is gripping the dead body of the young woman lying in the bed, this very young woman is hovering above her as a translucent being. As she says, "Here, my sister, the novice Melobin sold us to the green men from north. In the dark of night, his knife walked like tooth of snake over sleeping skin. The time of vengeance will come, but first you must bring the head of the Holy One to safe haven. Follow the stream of Domona from the crypt to the dragon's mouth, where 2 crosses of the sun will be turned. I beg you to do this. But the will of Kmorda shall be." And then it fades. And Parma is just sitting there. "Girinda, don't disappear! Where are you going? Don't go where I can't go!"
Like-
And she's just crying her eyes out.
And what did it say
Oh,
again? I
like
couldn't
I-
write that, I
you
couldn't
have
write
time
that
to write
down because
this
my
down.
pen was.
I'll
Was the
give you
picture.
a translation.
Okay.
Because maybe you will need one. Yep. Kirov finally found his way into the sauna. Yeah, it's a sauna, Kirov. Should I put this in our quest journal, perhaps? Of course I should.
Yes.
I'll call it Girinda's final wish. Shall I? Yes, I shall.
Ah, Kirov's ahead of me. What's up there, Kirov? Oh, that's a sauna. Ah, okay.
Where did it go?
Follow the
No, not fail. It's in progress. Ah,
Man, we failed it already.
fail. I'm gonna. There we go. In progress. There it is. Okay.
That was quicker than usual, but
So there you go. Girinda's final wish. Oh, meanwhile, Kirov is out walking, aren't you? While the rest of you all have been listening to the ghost of Girinda, Kirov is in fact up by the watchtower, as it were. Yeah, there's a small stone tower, and as you're coming into the first level here, there is in fact a dead druid lying there. But you can go up a set of stone stairs to the second level, Kirov, should you so wish. I haven't built the second level because, yeah. Just tell me if you want to go there.
Yeah, I'll go up.
Very well. So it's basically a stair that is hewn right out of the mountain, and the spiral stairs goes right up to the room above on the second level. This is basically quadratic, and yeah, there is a man lacking a head on the floor, and there is one window in every cardinal direction, and under every window there is something carved. So you can look to the north, the west, the east, the south. Also on the wall there is some kind of leather casing. So what do we want to do with this place?
Yeah, we'll just lean out the window and shout, Halveld up here.
As you're looking south, you can see a carving under the window with a hatch that opens into the ground, basically. And it's said there's writing next to the hatch. It says, "Follow the holy water to the dragon's mouth." And it also says, "Two sun crosses show the way."
Okay. Interesting.
Whose head are we? The Holy One's head. Who are we supposed to be taking?
You don't know, do you?
I'm sure Perima will know. That.
There are 3 more cardinal directions to look out if you want to. You're right here, aren't you?
Yeah.
And Halvard can write it all down.
So, which direction first? Tell me. You have west, east, and north left. Can't be that hard to choose.
West.
Very well. The carving underneath the window is an obelisk. Just a single obelisk. And you're looking out towards a valley very far away. There's a lot of mist over there. East, north? North. You're looking out towards a chain of mountains, really, a mountain massif. The carving is a carving of a tower. And there's an image of a hand that is pointing towards a representation of a mountain pass that looks 2 horns, just to the southeast of the tower. And then the east is the only thing left. You will look out towards a mountain in the far distance. It's like hazy. It's just basically a knob on the horizon. On the picture, there is, looks like a house, like a farmhouse drawn. And a little bit closer in the picture, there's a person who is blowing in a horn. And there are some little weird signs. Either of you can roll a performance check, please. That was a fail on the part of Kirov. Does Halveld want to roll performance?
An attempt will be made.
An attempt will be made.
And one was made, indeed.
One was made. Your performance is amazing. Very well. You have no idea what those little signs mean, in other words. We are left with a mystery here, my friends. There are weird signs up here in the tower where you can look out over the glacier and the landscape around you. Perima's sister, you will learn, is Garinda, and she's dead. But her ghost had a final wish. How are we going to fulfill this final wish? What are the clues here? Why did the Shaglites, because, yeah, this was a Shaglite, wasn't it? That's what has been said. Why did they do this? What's going on here on this island far away from civilization in the most strict sense of the word? I don't know. I do know, but you don't know. But maybe I'll tell you one day. Huh.
Oh, while I remember, the south-facing carving, was it just words or was there an image?
There was an image, yes. There was a hatch that, like an open hatch going down into the mountain, I guess? Into the underworld. Or, no, not underworld. Under... A hatch in the ground that opens up.
Right, 'cause I was thinking the hatch was actually in the tower.
Nope.
So this is just an image of one.
It's an image of one when you're looking out of the southern tower. And since we're finishing up here, why don't you go and rate some people who are playing some RPGs on Infinite Monkey Tales? Let's go! See you in a week, everyone.